Good morning and welcome to a new edition of the Betting Connection podcast. My name's Chris. I'm here with my co-host Rob. Rob, how you doing this morning? Did you catch the mayhem of the last round of the Champions League last night?
Hey Chris, yeah, I'm doing good and definitely had a watch. Unbelievably amount of switches that's going on when you watch that program, but I kind of like it. Although when you switch to a match, I always think like, for sure there must be a goal now. There's like 18 matches going on, so there must be always a goal when we go to a certain kind of match. Did you watch it?
I did, yeah. I had it on a UK channel that were basically the goals programs. They were just flicking through the matches when goals happened. So got to see most of the action when it happened. And then towards the end, the last kind of 10, 15 minutes, I was starting to see, right, what does this mean? Who's playing who in the next round? So I was starting to get nerdy and looking at that. And it was changing a little bit here and there between kind of Man City with Real Madrid, by Munich, and that was kind of changing up and down a little bit. But yeah, I found it fun in general, and wow, what a load of goals there were. I think it was 60 something goals last night.
Yeah, and I think definitely as a Dutch guy, I'm watching the Dutch matches as well in particular, and it just seems that there always are loads of goals in them. And I think we have to keep that in mind for the next time when it's coming very close to the end of the table of the league, then a lot of goals definitely in Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. I fancied goals last night. It's funny, this program I was watching last night, the hosts or the pundits on that channel all had a guess at how many total goals there would be. I think the highest was 40 something and it ended up being 60 something. So yeah, just imagine.
Wow, wow. Yeah, really cool. Really cool. Yeah, and now the draw is gonna be even exciting as well. So let's see how that all plays out.
Yeah, it's interesting how it all goes, really. Like Liverpool finished first seed, yet I think that they've got a potentially harder draw than an Aston Villa or a Lille, for example, who finished seventh and eighth. So it's a difficult one. Sorry, Lens, isn't it? Not Lille.
Yeah. And Slot said about it as well, like, okay, if this in the future is gonna be like this, then maybe we don't play the first 11 for the first seven matches all the time, because then there's no incentive to become first. There's only incentive to become in the top eight.
Yeah, there's definitely incentive for the top eight, and I think other than Liverpool that pretty much won all their games before yesterday, that was still in question, really. Like Arsenal have been sitting at third for the whole time, but we kind of qualified, but we still needed a draw to solidify it, So, and we had a good record as well. So I think it's difficult to kind of rotate really, unless you do what Liverpool do and win the first six, and then maybe you can rotate the last two. But I think generally speaking, you need 16, 17 points to get in that top eight, and that's a fair haul to have to do. So I get his point, and I do understand. I don't think there's much difference between first and eight, basically.
No, at the moment, not. Not at the moment.
And I suppose the only other good thing is I think it's impossible for Liverpool to play Barcelona until the final because they're the first two.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But then again,
So
is
there's,
Barcelona the second best team at the moment? Probably not, to be honest.
probably not, but maybe in other future seasons, maybe you do get the top two best teams there. So I don't know. Like I say, I think it's impossible to really plan it. And I was thinking there last night as well. It's like, there was like a goal difference issue with the whole Bayern Munich and Real Madrid being on top of one another. And I was like, I wonder if they know that they could get a better draw if actually they conceded a goal now. It was like weird things going on towards the end of the match. But I think all in all, it's fairly positive. I had a nice 12-1 winner
Wow.
last night as well on a little Acca. So I was very happy with that. And yeah, Champions League's actually been better for me for Accas this season than normal domestic football for bigger, longer, the long shot Accas. The Champions League's been better for me this year.
Okay. Yeah, they are. They are. They are. For me as well. I it was quite good this Champions League so far. And now there comes the knockoff stage then It's always a little bit harder, I think, as well to predict because there's a lot more on the line and it's just about two matches. But I like to place some bets on who qualifies for the next round. That's the way I like to go about these kind of formats.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be interesting anyway. So the draw tomorrow will really lay it out as to how it's going to look, I think, for the rest of the competition. So it'll be interesting. Anyway, moving on to us and things, all football going forward and betting. Just to let people know, I think anyone that follow us and listens to us would have seen that we tried something new this week with doing a shorter podcast with a couple of picks on that day. We're going to continue that, Rob. We're going to try going down this method where we're still going to have this weekly podcast where we have a chat, talk about the fixtures, talk about our picks or our leans, what we like. But we're not going to make all of our official picks for the weekend like we have been doing. And yeah, the reason for this, there's a couple of reasons for this. One, we want to give more content to our listeners. We want to be able to give it more on a regular basis, not every day, but not far off it. And also, from our perspective, we're having to do the whole weekend's research quite early. We record this normally on a Thursday morning, and yeah, we have to do our research Tuesday or Wednesday. It's very difficult to get the predictions always because there's a lot of unknowns at that time with injuries. Sometimes there's even matches still going on during the week when we're making our research for the weekend. And generally speaking, we want to, there's a lot of people as well that like to come here, have a chat with us, listen to everything we're talking about. But sometimes there's people in a rush and it's literally just, all right, what's the pick for today? What's the pick for today? So we want to try and, best of both worlds. We'll have a chat here. We'll talk about all things betting for the weekend, but we're also going to deliver the official picks on a shorter podcast with the title of that match. So people can just tune in, get the pick and move on. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, definitely like the new style going forward, and yeah, definitely like to see how it's all gonna play out. And yeah, we both liked it, so let's see how it works.
Yeah, let's see how it works. So we're gonna trial that today and see how it goes. So any feedback from you guys will be amazing as always. Obviously, we're here doing this for you guys, so let us know. Let us know your thoughts after we put this one out and when we're putting our shorter pods throughout the week as well. So without further ado, Rob, we'll go forward and talk about this weekend. Just quickly, we'll touch on last weekend. It wasn't as bad as the previous 2 weeks. It was, we win one, lose one, win one, lose one, and it pretty much ended around evens last week. You had the big gun Acca come back in. We had a couple of decent picks as well. Would have been a very profitable one if Eintracht Frankfurt had held on. So it was good, about even money. And we also had a long shot shout as well. I managed to call 3-1 Man City with Foden to score last week. Bit of fun that we do in the quick fire round. That was 20-1. We don't count that in our profit and losses, but we do have a little play on that. So that was a nice little winner as well.
Yeah, definitely. Good to be back to winning's ways with the big gun Acca, and yeah, we had a little bit of tough luck, and yeah, you had a massive quick fire round because you picked it right. So 21.0 was it?
21.0 or 20-1 if you're on fractions. But yeah, but we have a little fun play on that. Like I said, we never count the quick fire round as profit loss. But if you think about it, we've actually made money out of that over the course of the season. We've had a few hit, and obviously we're talking about 20s pluses on this. So, we definitely made money because, we've only got what 22 episodes. So we must have had about 60, 70 units in total with the winners of the quick fire round.
Yeah, definitely. And this is
Obviously,
the
if
first
you're
time we're
paying a
not gonna
unit
have
every
it.
time. Sorry?
And this is the first time we're not gonna do it.
And we're not going to do it today. We're not. But we are going to chat about every country as we always do, have a look at the fixtures, talk in general, and see if we can find any early price bargains, which is what we still want to do here. We want to look at those early prices because the one advantage that we have had really this season is because we record it early, the prices are more favourable. Generally speaking, they do come down. So we still want to look at that. We still want to highlight stuff to you guys. So let's do that. And let's start, as always, in the Premier League, Rob. A very big weekend ahead. Two standout matches with Bournemouth, the absolute red hot hand of Bournemouth at home to Liverpool. And then you've got Arsenal versus Man City as well.
Yeah, big matches coming up in England this weekend. And yeah, we'll first have a little chat about Bournemouth Liverpool because they're playing on Saturday. And wow, what a matchup, to be honest. This is going to be the real deal for Liverpool. Playing away at Bournemouth, they really smashed Nottingham last weekend, and I didn't expect it. I thought they definitely had a chance to win it, but to win it 5-0. And my Dutch fellow countryman, Justin Kluivert, is reminding me of his old dad scoring so many
Yeah,
goals lately.
he's on fire. Absolute fire. I mean, a lot of people talk about Semenyo, but Cliver has been quietly going about his business as one of the informed players in the league.
He's just a very cool finisher, and that really helps him. And I think a lot of injuries made him play a little bit more up front, and he had a couple of penalties as well in there. But he just yeah, when a team is in the flow, they are in the flow. And now they had 7 days of rest before the game, and Liverpool had it as well, to be honest. So they rested Salah, they rested Van Dijk. Gravenberg didn't show, so there was like a B team playing in the Champions League. But still, yeah, this is going to be a very interesting match. I don't know where to go with this match. I think maybe goals. There could be a lot of goals in them, but if you want me to predict a winner, it's very hard. I'm always leaning towards the quality of Liverpool. But yeah, what do you think?
What do I think is that price of 4.5 for Bournemouth is incredibly tempting.
Yeah, it
Incredibly
is.
tempting. I do think Liverpool will probably get the job done. As you say, I think it's quite a big thing because playing away in the Champions League and then away in the league on the weekend always has caused problems over the history of time, to be honest. Um, but with Liverpool resting players, that hasn't really applied here. So yeah, they've got that benefit. Like you say, they're both rested for a week. But I mean, these are team. I mean, neither team have lost in the last 8, at least. Looking at the form guide here, the only thing that I was saying, this has been my point all season. I know that I sound like a broken record when I talk about Liverpool and the fact that I don't feel that they've played they had the hardest fixture list of the first half of the season. And if you look at it, Liverpool have only played 3 games away from home from teams in the top half so far, and they didn't win any of them. They drew all 3. To be fair, they didn't lose neither because they're actually unbeaten away from home. As we know, the only loss this season was that home game against Forest. So they are unbeaten away, but they actually have drawn 3 out of the top half teams away at home. Arsenal, Forest and Newcastle were all draws. All their other away matches are teams in the bottom half. So that's the only thing. So Bournemouth have definitely got a shout here. Maybe a Bournemouth win or draw, double chance. Could be a good play. I did that with Nottingham Forest when they played at home to Liverpool not long ago. So yeah, but really exciting match. And to be honest, as an Arsenal fan, I think this is one where Liverpool have to slip up. I think if Liverpool do win this match, I think they play that game in hand in midweek following as well at Everton. If they win both of those games, I think it's going to be very difficult for anyone to catch them.
Yeah, definitely. But still, everything's still in the race. To be honest, there's a lot of football to be played for the rest of the season. And then, yeah, hopefully for the Liverpool fans, they would love to see a draw or maybe a Manchester City win against in the matchup on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. They will. I mean, you don't want Man City to go on a tear either, I think. I mean, we know their problems. Their problems have been highlighted all season, but they're not like they're not a million miles away. If they beat Arsenal, I think it's only 3 points between Arsenal and City. So, we definitely don't want to be losing that game. Yeah, if City beat Arsenal, they are 3 points behind Arsenal. Now, I think Arsenal are borderline not being able to catch Liverpool. So I really can't see City doing it either. But either way, I think Liverpool will definitely like a draw or City win. And I don't know what to expect from this one either. It's the first time in I don't know how long that Arsenal would be favourites in this match. Firstly, I think it'll be a long time since Arsenal were clear favourites against Man City. They're just better than even money with Man City at 3.5. But yeah, I don't know about you, Rob, but any of the three results could happen, right? So difficult one to bet on.
Yeah, for me as well. Maybe you can talk a little bit more about the team news about Arsenal. What you think, which team's gonna play on Sunday?
Well,
You
I
look
think
at
Havertz was rested last night, so he's a definite. He's a definite, and he's had a nice week's rest. And Waneri will probably start on the right. He played last night. He scored, was man of the match. And yeah, then Trossard and Martinelli at the moment. Trossard's probably the man in form as well. So I think it will be a pretty strong lineup. Only missing Saka and Jesus, who arguably wouldn't start anyway. So I think it will be a pretty strong lineup for Arsenal.
Yeah, and Manchester City is a little bit back to the formation and the players that they've been playing last season as well, with Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva playing last night as well, and Foden and Haaland. It's quite more similar than that we saw before. And Gundogan even back in the squad. So it seems like they're playing a little bit of the more experienced guys as well. And yeah, it's a very exciting match, and it's very hard to tell where this match gonna go. I've got a hunch for goals. I don't know. I think maybe both teams need a win, so maybe they're both just going for the win, and both teams are conceding more than last season as well. Like I remember definitely Arsenal. I was backing them having a win and a clean sheet all the time. But
Mm.
nowadays they always concede a goal. What
Yeah,
is
but I think
happening there?
but the underlying statistics do not share that view. The XG against us is actually very, very low. Teams seem to be scoring against Arsenal with their only half chance of a game sometimes. So it's difficult to know. Like it's difficult to always go in for goals in an Arsenal game because if we go 1-0 up kind of late, we do know how to kind of play that out, not conceding many chances. I think it's difficult, but Man City looks so vulnerable defensively. So, I think the game is there for Arsenal, but of course, Man City turn up. But it's going to be a really heated match because don't forget the last time that these two played, you've got Haaland with the infamous "Stay humble" quote, smashing the ball against Gabriel's head after scoring that last-minute equaliser. So it's going to be fiery, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm definitely gonna watch that match, and very excited about it. And yeah, probably the standout match for the weekend, to be honest.
For
Although
sure.
there's some really nice fixtures as well across Europe.
Is there anything else in the Premier League before we move on, betting wise, that you look at and think, ooh, maybe,
Newcastle at home,
yeah,
1.7 against
one
Fulham.
point seven, yeah,
I thought that was quite a
um,
good price, to be honest.
yeah, I think so as well. Newcastle in great form. Other than that, Bournemouth, right, anomaly, wasn't it? Really, there's no other word to call it. I mean, they won the 7 of the last 8 matches, and that was the one standout, and they lost, and it was a big loss. But other than that, been really good form, and Fulham haven't been doing great, to be honest. They've only won 2 of the last 8 themselves, and it's just always a bit of a mixed bag with Fulham. They're really good on their day, but capable of winning, drawing, losing. It's just you never really know. So I think it's a difficult one to know. But you have to remember as well that they have recently got wins at Chelsea and a draw at Liverpool, albeit to 10 men for most of the game. But yeah, so I think that's what bookies are looking at.
Yeah, I think they're looking at that. But then again, if you look at Newcastle's form and Newcastle playing at home, and it's definitely a match that they need to win to keep on pushing for that top four spot that they really want to, or maybe even higher, because they're getting closer as well. They're equal in points with Manchester City. And yeah, as you said, Fulham is not in the greatest form. Like they were a little bit in a better form just before the end of the year, but now they seem to struggle a little bit more. And yeah, let's
Yeah,
see. I think it's an
Newcastle got
interesting
quite a
price.
good record. Newcastle got quite a good record against Fulham. They Fulham did beat them earlier this season, the reverse fixture, but Newcastle had won the previous five in a row, so they got quite a good record as well. So I think that's an interesting one. The other one that I like as well is actually Everton, and I'm actually going to put this on my student Acca later. Everton at home to Leicester, the Moyes effect. They feel like I feel like they've turned it around, and that game against Liverpool in midweek next season, next season, next during the week next week, does look a bit of a harder fixture than it was when the game was originally meant to be played.
Yeah, that's always hard to tell, to be honest. And I think those kind of matches, those derbies are always you have to watch it on its own. Definitely helps Everton that they really seem to have turned the page a little bit. And regarding to the match against Leicester, yeah, I was looking at it and it could go either way because Everton sometimes seems a team that likes to defend quite good and keeps the match quite on a low scoring affair. And Leicester, with Ruud van Nistelrooy, seems to have loads of goals in their games at the moment. So very interesting to see where it goes. And both got the win, a very needed win last weekend. So yeah, let's see how they both build on it.
Yeah, both teams recently played Tottenham and won that game, so I think we can just count that against Tottenham, rather than maybe these two teams improving. But apart from that win from Leicester against Tottenham last week, they were in terrible form. They lost their last seven in a row before that. I'm not looking at that Tottenham game as a change of fortune. I think that just shows how bad Tottenham are right now and what a mess they are. Whereas, yes, Everton also beat Tottenham, but they followed that up with a really impressive win away at Brighton. So for me, yeah, Everton being the home team at 1.8, I've just got a feeling with them. I think Leicester are a really, really poor team. And I don't think Ruud van Nistelrooy has helped them. I think maybe attacking wise a bit more, but defensively they look even worse than what they were. So no, I got a gut feeling, a little bit of hunch on Everton this weekend.
Okay, now sounds good.
Okay, should we move on to your home country and what's happening? I mean, Champions League has done well for the Dutchies. What's going to happen in the Eredivisie this weekend? Anything that's catching your eye?
There are a couple of matches that, yeah, there's one standout match in Holland this weekend, and it's Ajax against Feyenoord, the classic in Holland. So that's to be honest, yeah, I think the biggest rivalry in Holland, the biggest game in Holland. Maybe if it's played at Feyenoord, it's even a little bit more because the fans are more into it. But either way, it's an amazing match. And it's very interesting to see how it goes. Feyenoord is definitely a team that's on and off. They sometimes really surprise with matches against Bayern München, against Benfica. They played really well, but then you also have those matches where they lost 6-1 against Lille, and they have a lot of draws in Holland as well. That's why they're not fighting for the title. They're not even close to the second spot. And if you look at Ajax, it was a team that, yeah, most people would say like, oh, if you already qualify for Europe or became in third, that would be a great season. But they're stuck in second and even hunting down PSV. They're just only 1 point behind if they win their match that they still have to play. So very interesting where this match gonna go. I really don't know. I'm rooting a little bit towards Feyenoord, but that's my own feeling. But if you look at it at betting wise, I didn't even look at the odds yet, but Ajax seems to be, yeah, on it more consistent this season. So
2.2, 2.2 Ajax to win.
Yeah, and the goals. Do you also have a line on the goals market? Because there's mostly a lot of goals in those matches.
Yeah, but what you'd need to go over 3.5, really, right? Because over 2.5 is normally quite short in the Dutch league.
I think over 3.5 goals, 2.65 isn't that crazy of a shout. I think normally the line would be like 3.5, but Ajax definitely is Farioli, the new coach, definitely tends to defend a little bit more, be more disciplined at the back. So there are a lot of games with low scoring affairs. But similar to like those derbies, it's a match on its own, and it's always fire. And yeah, definitely gonna be a great game to watch as well on Sunday. Do you have anything opinion about that match?
I looked at it when I was looking at the prices. I thought, wow, Ajax in the form they're in seemed like a good price. What you just mentioned there about goals is interesting as well. Four of the last six meetings in the league between these two have had more than 3.5 goals in them. So that could be a fairly good shout as well. And as you say, I think it's a hard one really. I mean, Feyenoord aren't in the best of forms either. They're winless in three, aren't they? I think they drew last week and lost the previous two, albeit it's a fairly good opposition. But then Ajax are the team on the chase at the moment. They're on the hunt. They can smell blood. We spoke about the title race. They're definitely in it now. And yeah, I got a feeling that at home at 2.2, I like it, but goals could be the play as well because Feyenoord have been fairly successful in this fixture recently. Ajax won the reverse fixture, but the two games prior to that was a 6-0 and a 4-0 to Feyenoord. But then I think Ajax were in quite a bit of a mess in that moment, weren't they? So
Yeah,
difficult. And
yeah.
obviously they had the slot effect as well. So yeah, I don't know. Don't know. I don't fancy. I wouldn't be backing Feyenoord in this personally.
No, me neither. The only angle in this match is the goals. If you do like a match to bet on, I actually like NAC Breda. Again, they're playing at home Friday night, and you can find them a little bit shorter than even money, and they are playing against Heracles. And NAC Breda is a team that really overperforming. I talked about them before. They like last season they were still in the second division, and they got really lucky to be promoted because they finished like eighth in the league, but then they managed to get a spot in the playoffs and they just kept on winning. They just catch the good form, and nobody expected it, but they gone up. And definitely Breda is a big city as well, so they definitely deserve a team to be in the top league. And they have some interesting players as well. They have some youngsters that are quite talented. You have Sawa. He's playing on loan from Feyenoord, and he was this big Slovakian prodigy, so keep an eye on him. And you have now, they signed Van Hooijdonk, Sidney Van Hooijdonk. It's the son of Pierre Van Hooijdonk. You remember Pierre?
Yes,
Hooijdonk?
definitely.
Yeah, the big legend of Feyenoord, just making free kicks all over the place. But he has this young kid is playing as well as a striker, and he managed even to score against PSV. It got disallowed, but he's a top class player for definitely for the standards of NAC Breda. So I actually like this team because they have lots of talent, and yeah, they showed that they could play football against PSV last time, and now they have to play against a lot weaker opposition. They have to play at home Friday nights at NAC. They are famous because there's definitely going to be a party before and after the match. So I expect a good atmosphere and NAC Breda win.
Yeah, we've spoken about this team quite a few times. They did let us down the last time we backed them at home to Heerenveen, and they're
Yeah.
not in the best form really. They've lost four of the last five, so not in amazing form. Although they did win their last home match against FC Twente, so
Yeah,
obviously
but
a
I
better
think
team.
that's the difference between form statistic wise and
Yeah,
the eye test. If you watch a
yeah.
match and you can see that play as well. And you see that the transfer that they did during the end of the year, they got the new striker Sidney van Hooijdonk. It opens it up a little bit of more possibilities as well. So they have
Yeah.
more quality up front now.
Yeah, and you spoke about them on the nighttime fixtures as well, with their
Fans,
their
yeah.
strong support, their racial support. So yeah, like this is a good fixture for them. And look, an interesting fact actually, they've only drawn one match all season, Nakbreda,
Wow.
and they've not drawn at home all season, either wins or losses. Whereas, how do you say the other team, Heracles,
Yeah,
Heracles,
Heracles. Yeah.
Heracles? They're a bit more of a draw specialist actually, but they do lose away generally speaking, and they got thumped quite a few times as well. So yeah, I like this one as well. Although form isn't the best, there are some mitigating circumstances with that as well. They've had some pretty difficult matches away at PSV, away at Go Ahead Eagles. So yeah, I quite like this one, and it's a team that we spoke about and backed before, and they've won more times than they've not for us.
Okay, that's it about Holland for me this time.
Okay. España, always our third country we go on to. Spain, we're in the middle of a great title race in Spain. Rob, what are you thinking? Who's your favourite right now? If you had to pick a winner, who's winning La Liga this year?
Whew, that's tough. Yeah, if you have to be picking right now, free bet. If you are smart, then you would put it on Real Madrid, to be honest. They're already 7 points ahead of Barcelona, so that's quite a lot. And they're 4 points ahead of Atletico. And I remember we've been talking about this match like beforehand, like beginning of the season, just before the El Clasico, that we said that, oh yeah, Barcelona is really good and Real Madrid really not playing that well, and they even on our naughty list as well. But they really turned the table. I would never expected them to be 7 points ahead of Barcelona already after such start. What do you
And
think?
actually, I'm surprised to look at it at seven actually, because that's escalated quite quickly. Do you remember? It only felt like a couple of weeks ago, Atletico were top with a game in hand,
Yep.
and Real Madrid and Barcelona were pretty much the same points. And all of a sudden, there is a little bit of distance now. And looking at the betting, Real Madrid are actually 1.44 now to win the league. So pretty odds on.
Yeah, yeah, really. And are they off the naughty list? Are they?
Well,
Did they turn the
it
table?
just sums up kind of my luck over the last 3 or 4 weeks, to be honest. The time that I've put them officially on the naughty list is the time they decided to actually start playing good football and winning games comfortably. So I don't know. I'm just going to leave them. I'm going to ignore. I'm going to pretend they don't exist.
But they do. But if you look at the last couple of matches, it's really good. At the Supercopa loss against Barcelona, that was like you wouldn't expect that because before that they already won 4 matches in a row. But after that Supercopa loss against Barca, they won 5-2, 4-1, 5-1, 3-0, 3-0. So they seem to be really on fire. Mbappe scoring goals, Vinicius scoring goals. So Bellingham back to scoring ways as well. So
Yeah.
I actually fancy them for the big gun Acca again this weekend. So yeah, that's how I think about it. Do you think?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I look. I mean, looking at the fixtures this weekend, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing that stands out. There's one price that I thought that's not bad, all things considered, and it's Atletico Madrid. They're playing at home to Mallorca, and they are at 1.44. They're on my student Acca at home. Atletico. The odds are only the odds, I imagine, because they just had a little hiccup recently. But Mallorca have also had two defeats in the last two games as well. So I think Atletico at home, yeah, 1.44. Do you like those odds?
Yeah, definitely. I like actually all three title candidates. I like Barcelona to win at home, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
the most inconvenient team, but it's the shortest one. Like you don't have to put that on Acca or anything because it's quite short. It's like 1.15 or 1.20 around that
Hmm.
price. So it's probably too short for me to put it in a general pick. But I thought that was quite strange as well. Like out of all three games, they are the shortest one, although they seem to have the most mixed up results as well.
Yeah, but I think that's just due to the competition. I imagine Mallorca are flying quite high, so that explains Atletico Madrid's odds and Real Madrid are away from home. You put the three together, you're talking about better than even money there.
Yeah.
So, so I think that is a good play. And like I said, Atletico Madrid is the one that I like. But in terms of value picks, looking at this off the card, there's absolutely nothing that sticks out at all.
No, not really. Just Atletico.
And okay, so we'll move on from Spain then. Germany, there's not nothing amazing looking on Germany. We do have probably the shortest odds of the weekend with Bayern Munich at home to Holstein Kiel. I've lost what they were, but it's 1.0 something, 1.04 something like that. So I think that's definitely not one that you're going to make much money from. 1.05 Bayern Munich at home to Holstein Kiel. Incredible. And there's nothing else really. Stuttgart are playing at home quite short, I think, considering they're really, really unpredictable. And yeah, nothing else doing really. Eintracht Frankfurt, I think, is also a team that got to keep considering. Obviously, they lost Mamouche last week to Manchester City, but 1.9 at home. I'm going to have a little further look into that to see if that's a pick for the weekend when we record our separate shorter pods. But other than that, I think we'll move on to Italy.
Okay, let's move on. Italia.
And you know what it is this weekend in Italy?
Yep, it's time for the big derby.
Yeah, and that if there's ever been an Italian classic, it's this one, right?
Yeah, that's definitely it's such a great fact to have in the football community or whatever you want to call it, but that they're playing in the same stadium always. And I've actually been to the
Mm.
stadium. I've watched the match real live, but I also did the tour. And in the tour, you have like two different kind of home, how you say, changing rooms for the
Yeah.
teams. There was like a level as well. Like Inter, I don't remember which one I like more, but they're not similar, but they are. So it's really cool. I really like it.
And Inter are flying as well, aren't they? They're in really good form. AC Milan, I find it's another team, AC Milan, that always seem to hurt you at some point in the season, betting wise, don't they? They always have a period or mixed results or something. There's something about AC Milan. You can never be confident about making money from them.
No, at the moment not. And definitely if you look at them, yeah, they're already 19 points behind Napoli. They do have a game in hand, so that's actually 16, similar to exactly the same point, that many points that they are behind Inter. So it's a very big gap, to be honest. So close, so early in the season. We're only halfway or a little bit over halfway, and they're already so many points behind. I do like to follow them. They have Dutch player that we really like, of course, Tijani Reinders. He actually is one of the key players at the moment, scoring a lot of goals for a midfielder. But yeah, it's a very on and off team. Inter, still for me, the big favorite to win the title. They seem the most consistent. They already did it a couple of seasons. They have a squad with a lot of experience winning those titles. And they're in a title race with Napoli at the moment. And but those kind of matches, AC Milan, Inter, they always stand out on their own. And I think we had that as well. Like last time, I expected the win for Inter in the Supercopa and I even in the Serie A, but both times AC Milan got the win. What do you think about this, man?
Is that difficult? Like, obviously, I think Inter Milan should win the match, but as you say, AC Milan have got results against them. I don't love it. I don't love it. It's 1 point, what Inter Milan, 1.85. Honestly, when I'm looking at the prices, I actually think there's more value for AC Milan at 4.2, to be
Yeah.
honest. I don't, like just in terms of pure value of price, Do I think AC Milan will win the match? Probably not. But sometimes, do you ever have those, Rob, where sometimes, even when you think a team probably won't win, you just think, you know what, it's worth a go at that price, just in case.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely if you look at this match, because they are probably priced up quite similar the last two encounters between the two, and AC Milan got the win because yeah, Inter is just a team at the moment that's more in form, has more experience, they're higher in the ranking. Everyone expects them to win, so I think it's priced up right. But it's a match that could go either way, and it's quite similar to like a Ajax Feyenoord match that we talked about earlier. But if you look at that match, the odds are a lot closer to each other. So then I'm actually leaning towards Ajax a little bit more because the price is right. And towards this one, yeah, you can also look at AC Milan or draw or AC Milan win. But yeah, I like to stay away from those kind of matches for my betting wise.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a risky one. Both teams actually have only lost once at the San Siro this season in the league. AC Milan's being at home to Napoli and Inter Milan's being that game against AC Milan in the
Yeah.
reverse fixture. So they're both strong at the San Siro. So yeah, with that in mind, I just think if you want a little nibble, it's probably worth it for value on AC Milan. But yeah, definitely wouldn't be putting my mortgage on it. That's for sure.
Indeed.
Indeed. Anything else? I mean, Roma Napoli's an interesting game as well. Roma and under Ranieri's, they're doing okay, no?
Yeah,
Recently.
they had a little revival and they did really needed it. And Napoli is yes is back to winning ways, right? They won the last six matches all in a row, and they even beat Juventus and Atalanta, and they beat Fiorentina away from home. So yeah, they really look good.
Yeah, and like I say, we will have a further look into some of these fixtures, and if we do like anything between now and then, we're going to get this out and do these shorter pods for you, just to get a pick for a particular day or a particular match. How do you see that going, Rob? Do you think it'll be per match, or do you think it'll be per day? What's your thoughts when we're going to do these kind of quick pods?
Yeah, probably have it per match if we have like a single unit play. And if you have like a double or a treble or maybe an Acca that you really like, you can have like multiple matches for an episode. But I will be definitely talking about picks that I will be putting a single unit on. So most bets are about even money or a little bit shorter or a little bit over that as well. So yeah.
Yeah, and guys, don't forget as well. Tell us what you like for the weekend because it has happened. Sometimes someone's given me a team I've never considered. Sometimes it's a league that I don't even look at. Then I've done my own little research into it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good one. I like this, and I've won money that way. So please, sharing is caring, guys. We like to do this and share what we know and what we like. But yeah, the other way round is true as well. We'd love to hear what you think for the weekend and particular matches.
Okay, yeah, definitely. We love to hear about it.
Okay, all right, Rob. I think that covers the top leagues for the weekend. There's some interesting games there, some leans that we've already got, and like I say, we'll back them up with some official picks closer to the time. Going forward, we're not going to do the quickfire round this weekend. We've still got our Accas. And first, I'm going to do the top five with you that we like to do, that we've done in recent weeks. And this time, Rob, I got one for you. I got a difficult one for you.
Let's see. I want to
I
hear
hope you're
about
ready, right? It is players that have played in the MLS.
it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm going to give you a hint, okay, before I start. I'm not going to be mentioning Messi.
Okay.
Okay, so think
There
about that.
are they used to play a lot of good players, huh? Not only now, but
Yes.
back in the day as well.
No, this is not now. This is who's played full stop
Okay.
in MLS, right?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm
I'm not
ready.
I'm not going to be mentioning Messi, so don't save your number one spot for him. Okay. And it is going to be difficult. And honestly, I think that you probably would have difficulty even if I gave you all five up front. But anyway, I'm going to start with Zlatan. Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Wow. That's I really like Zlatan as a player as well. I like the way he acts and stuff like that. He's so crazy and so self-confident. And I like the way he sells it. So I'm not putting him on one. No, I'm gonna put him on three.
On
In the
three.
middle, in the middle.
Okay. Okay. Who am I going with next? I'm going to go with Mr. Wayne Rooney.
He's four, number four. I like
Oh,
Zlatan
behind
more.
Zlatan.
Yeah, yeah, to be honest, yeah, I do think
Wow.
it's behind Zlatan.
This
Zlatan,
is one of the like some people consider him one of the best England players ever. Eh?
there is also an English player that played over the MLS that I maybe think I rate him higher.
Wow. Okay. Well. Okay. I'm going
Rooney
to
is
go
really
straight.
good, but yeah, you made it tough. But I like Zlatan a lot. And if you look at Zlatan, he won the prizes always. It's just that he doesn't have Sweden to back him. Then again, if you
Hmm.
look at Rooney's results, no, it's actually, to be honest, it's quite clear. Zlatan won championships in Italy. He won them in England, and I think in France. He won them in Holland. He moved around in MLS as well. And if you look at Rooney, yeah, he was an amazing player. Definitely unbelievably skillful, but it's very hard to. They're quite similar in quality, but if I look at the prices, who won more trophies across different kind of competitions, then yeah, I think I made the right pick.
Okay. Well, I'll go with that other England player I think you're talking about, David Beckham.
No, I then put him on five. I,
That wasn't the one you were thinking of.
no, I was thinking about one back in the day. I'm not even sure that no, now I'm second guessing myself because it's probably not even real English because I was thinking about Georgie Best.
Yeah, he's Irish, Northern
He's
Irish.
Irish, yeah.
Yeah, Northern Irish. So yeah, but
Beckham five.
David Beckham five. Okay, okay, right. So we got two left.
Yeah, two left.
David Villa.
Wow. Six. Six. No, no, then I have to go two. I have to
You
go
messed it
number
up.
two.
You messed it.
Which the last one?
Thierry Henry.
Yeah, then number one. Wow, that is actually a tough list. I would definitely rearrange it.
What would you do if you had them up front?
Wow. It's a very tough question to be honest. Um, phew, that's very hard. I think Zlatan one, Cherry two, Rooney three, Beckham four, and Via five. What would you do?
I would do Henry one, Rooney two, Zlatan three, Villa four, Beckham five.
And then you say that I like my Dutch players.
Rooney was top class, mate. I like Zlatan as well. Don't get me wrong, but Rooney had it all.
Rooney had it all. Well, yeah,
Rooney
definitely
had it
at
all.
this moment. But then again, Zlatan, yeah, Zlatan as well. It's very tough to pick them apart, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. But anyway, it was fun. Nevertheless, let's move on to the Accas, Rob. Big
Yeah.
Gun Acca back to winning ways last week. Have you got
Yes.
something lined up? Is it big? Is it a big Gun Acca? Is it a normal Big Gun Acca?
I think you could play it in two ways because sometimes you have those bookies that if you have another pick added on, you get an extra bonus. And that sometimes makes it a little bit more interesting. If you don't have that, leave the shortest one off because I actually took the shortest one on this weekend, the big Anaka. So
Hmm.
without further ado, I'm gonna announce it to you.
Yep.
Atletico Madrid Real Madrid, FC Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Celtic. So back again to this original form of the big gun Acca. You can find it at 2.76. And if you have the bonus added on, you can get it a little bit above 3 point something. And then, yeah, that's the big gun Acca for this weekend.
Okay. You really, yeah, you doubled down on that Spanish treble you were talking about.
Yeah, it was hard to find like big favorites or big teams and good matchups. Because yeah, as we said, in Holland there are two playing against each other already, Ajax and Feyenoord. Then you have PSV playing away from home against NEC that I didn't really like. Rangers is too short in my opinion. Portugal not to be trusted at the moment, and England also has quite a big matchups as well this weekend. So yeah,
Okay, I'm just finishing coughing. I think I'm ready for the student ACCA then. So let
okay.
me see.
Yeah,
I keep getting the midweek Champions League student ACCA bets, but I can't pull this one together. Let's see if we can get it this for this weekend. So I'm going for a sixfold here. I've mentioned it before. It is a bit of a risky one, but I'm going to put it in, and it's Everton to beat Leicester, as I mentioned. I've got Aston Villa to win away at Wolves. I think they're a good price as well. We didn't really talk about that match, but I think they're a good price. I've also got Atletico Madrid as well. So again, guys, if you don't like putting the same team on two accas, you can adjust accordingly. I've got Atalanta in Serie A. I've got Lille, fresh off their impressive Champions League season. And I've gone PSV. PSV, we've mentioned again in this title race. I don't know about you, Rob. I thought they were a really good price. They're nearly 1.5 to win. I think that's a good price in any match for PSV.
yeah, it's a good price for the student Akka. And
Yeah.
yeah, at the moment, it's a little bit hard to tell where PSV is going because they had those slip-ups this season. They had a tough match against NAC Breda at home. They only got a 3-2 win. So yeah, it is a little bit scary as well. Like normally, I would say yeah, bet them blindly. But NEC at home, they won their last two matches. I wouldn't put it in all of my bets, and I wouldn't put my mortgage on it because it's a little bit too short. But for a student Akka, it's perfect, and I think they're gonna get a win.
Okay. So that sixfold, guys, is 16.06. So again, just to read them out: Everton, Aston Villa, Atletico Madrid, Atalanta, Lille, and PSV.
Okay, sounds
Okay,
good.
Rob, we normally finish with bet of the week. Again, we haven't laid this out like we normally do with the full research, full official picks. So let's change bet of the week to lean of the week. And lean of the week means, okay, without going into further detail on all of these, all of the matches this weekend, just generally speaking of what we've spoke about already on this pod, is there an initial lean of the week that would fit our usual value pick type range?
Friday night light, NAC Breda at home against Heracles. That's my lean of the week. What's
Lean
yours?
of the My lean of the week. I'm torn actually. I'm torn between Everton and Aston Villa. Everton 1.8 home to Leicester. Aston Villa 2.1 away at Wolves. Tempting, 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 tempting. I think Cunha is still dreaming about a move away from Wolves. The transfer window does not shut until Monday night. His head is still in the clouds. I'm going to go for lean of the week, Aston Villa 2.1.
Okay, that sounds good. I like it.
Okay, okay. So Rob, we are going to give more content, as we keep saying. So keep an eye out for that, guys. We will put on our socials every time that we've recorded a podcast. So keep an eye. What are our socials? Who are our socials? Where are we? Rob, where can people find us?
Just fill in the betting connection, and you can find us across various platforms. You can find us on YouTube, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you want to listen to the podcast shows. And if you want a little bit of extra information, you can find us on Twitter, on X, you can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, Blue Sky, and even on Threads as well. So yeah, almost everywhere. Just fill in the betting connection, and we really like if you subscribe and let us know what you thought about the show.
Yeah, and obviously by subscribing as well, Rob, people who, when they listen to us, whether it's Spotify, Apple, YouTube, they should get that notification every time we release a new pod anyway, right?
Exactly. And then yeah, just keep an eye out for the shorter versions. And then if you just like a particular match you want some extra info on, you can just find it in that episode. So yeah, let's see how that works out.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. And like I say, guys, give us some feedback, and we'll definitely be getting something out. Well, this will be going out today. Friday, we'll definitely have some because I think there's already a couple that Rob likes for Friday. And of course, he'll be looking into that second division Dutch football that he likes as well. So Friday for sure. And then we'll have our Saturdays and Sundays out with plenty of time for you guys to have a look and do your own research before laying the bet or not. Anyway, it'll be a great weekend again. Really looking forward to it. Premier League football is very hot this weekend, if you're betting or not. Have a good one, guys. Ciao for now.
Happy bettings.